Okay, guys, today I'm talking about what it's like when you're not allowed to be happy or you're not allowed to feel happy. In other words, do you feel like it's more comfortable to kind of exist in chaos, or it's more comfortable to stay negative and to not look forward to anything? It's more comfortable to not get excited about something because if you do, something bad is going to happen. Almost like the thought of being happy is like tied to the rug being pulled out from underneath you. Or something else you can ask yourself is when you're happy, when you actually are when you catch yourself, I should say, when you catch yourself actually feeling happy, do you feel like excited that you did? Or do you freak out and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling happy, something bad is going to happen? So the reason I want to talk about this is because if you had someone in your life, especially in childhood, if you had someone in your life that didn't let you feel safe being happy, if you had someone that every time you were happy criticized you, insulted you, or caused some kind of emotional drama to the point that your brain now associates happiness with something negative, the problem with that is even though it happened in childhood, right? And you had no choice in the matter, you had no say in the matter, it created conditioned behaviors, it created conditioned thought patterns, it created conditioned neurochemistry in your body. In other words, in order to feel happy, you need a certain neurochemistry. Any emotion that we have or that we want to have, it's not just something that we say logically and we're like, I feel this. No, it's accompanied by body sensations that are created through the neurochemistry in our body. Well, if trauma has caused you to associate something negative with happiness, your body has not created the neurochemistry for happiness for so long that it can feel like every time you try, one of two things happens. You either feel so much stress and discomfort that you stop being happy, right? And that's actually, just to explain that for a second, when you get uncomfortable, when you're trying to be happy, is because, again, due to childhood trauma, what you lived created a self-image. And your self-image, part of your self-image became, I'm not allowed to be happy. Happiness is dangerous. Happiness isn't for me. And so every time you start to try to be happy, that's outside of your subconscious beliefs. And the way our subconscious mind keeps us is through the neurochemistry that it creates in our body. So for example, if I'm depressed and I'm miserable and I'm comfortable in chaos, believe it or not, your brain will give you neurotransmitters that cause that to feel more comfortable than being happy. Whereas when you start to live outside of the bounds of your subconscious beliefs, like now you're trying to be happy, your brain is like, oh my goodness, I gotta go eat. My stomach is growling. Okay. Your brain starts seeing that you're living outside of that belief, and it sends these neurotransmitters to cause you to feel uncomfortable so that you stop and you actually come back into the self-image of, I'm not allowed to be happy. Happiness is dangerous. Happiness isn't for me. It's not safe. Okay. Breaking out of that requires rewiring your mind. Breaking out of that requires upgrading your beliefs. And I think this is where people get stuck, because sometimes they'll learn about childhood trauma. They'll learn maybe about narcissistic parents or complex PTSD. And on a logical level, they get it. They're like, oh, I don't feel happy because every time I was happy in childhood, that happened. Like that makes sense to me. So they think that because that makes sense to them, that now they're just going to start feeling happy. And it doesn't work that way. We actually have to lay down the neural pathways to feel happy. Very much like if there's a train that is going in one direction and you want it to go in a different direction, you have to lay down the tracks first, and then the train can switch directions. Well, you have to lay down the neural pathways to happiness, and then your mind can start going down a new pathway. And then the more often you travel it, that can become your default. But that takes work. That takes effort. That takes repetition. That takes change. And all of those things can be uncomfortable, but they are so worth it. So that being said, my next video, I'm going to put up a guided visualization that is specific to help you to start having neural pathways to feeling happy. And it's going to touch on your inner child as well as your future healed self in an effort to help you to have those neural pathways. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, which is all focused on healing, then make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you're notified of when my next videos come up. And last but not least, if you are on the healing journey and you're feeling alone and you feel like the videos aren't enough, make sure you check out the Thriver School of Transformation. The link is in the description box below. This is an interactive monthly membership where we meet live on Zoom and we work on the healing journey together so that you don't have to do it alone. So make sure you check it out if you need a little bit more assistance on the healing journey. Just know that if the link doesn't work, it's because the doors aren't open all the time. The doors to the school are only open the first 5 days of every month.